Hey YouTube, back at it again with another video. Just wanted to get this video out. I been struggling on my cut. I never had a solid plan to begin with, but that all changes today. Today is a Monday, and I got right here my pre-summer glow up protocol. It is a fitness plan and a nutrition plan optimized for me. This is subjective to everybody. If you're someone like me who is really trying to get in shape, excuse me, you should always have a plan, because I didn't. And I struggled to stay consistent to something that I didn't even know I needed to do. So, shall we get started? Right up here, I've got the fitness plan. The fitness plan, in terms of the goal of the fitness plan, is to optimize activity and muscle growth. To optimize activity, I must do 10 to 15,000 steps every day. This burns so many calories, so much more than people think. Just a simple 10 to 20 minute walk after every meal is pretty awesome. I do multiple walks throughout the day to make sure I hit this goal. At times, I'm pretty sure I'll even exceed the goal, as I'm a pretty active person. So I'd say to hit 10,000, what I do is I usually take my dog for a 20-minute walk. Sometimes it's more, 25-minute walk every morning, just up and down a hill. So it helps because the hill, it's like somewhat steep, It's not super steep, but going up a hill like that, it'll burn some calories for sure. I've actually got me a weighted vest over there to add some difficulty to it, which is what I'll definitely be doing, honestly. It's really great. As soon as I'm done with the walk, I'm drenched in sweat, but it is okay because I end up taking a cold shower. So it's cool now. Now, after my first meal, I go for a walk. After my second, which is my pre-workout meal, I don't go for a walk, but I go to the gym. And I work out at the gym, but after every workout session, I try to aim for 15 to 20 minutes of steady state cardio. The best way I can explain it is I put the treadmill at an incline of 13. It'll be 13.5 most times, and then I put the speed at 3 miles per hour. 3.5 if I feel like challenging myself. I do that after every workout. It helps. You've also got the third meal. The third, I don't know why I put up 4, but after the third meal, I go and do another 10 to 20 minute walk. I do it after every meal. It's optimal. It just alleviates the effect of carbohydrates and other nutritions from just being stored as glycogen. It is best because you don't want your body fat to be storing everything you just ate. You want your body to utilize it and everything. It also is proven that if you take a walk, especially if it's after your last meal of the day, you'd get a whole lot better sleep. Trust me, It works. Let's see here. So I've got a split. A lot of y'all might not like it. Some of y'all would be okay with it. But I set it so that way I've optimized it to where I can work out multiple muscle groups multiple times a week. For Sunday, I've got rest days. For Mondays, I got lower body. For Tuesday, I have miscellaneous and cardio. I'll explain that in a second. Wednesday, I have upper body. Thursday, I have miscellaneous and cardio. Friday, I have lower body. Saturday, I have upper body. For miscellaneous and cardio days, it is structured to work out forearms, shoulders, and abs. Whenever I do upper body and lower body workouts, sometimes it just doesn't thoroughly work out those muscle groups. So to get more stimulus to those muscle groups, I'll work out first before the cardio aspect. Now, there would be days where I could either choose a gym cardio session or a hiking session. Hiking, I don't have to worry about doing no workouts and shit. I really don't need to worry about that. But preferably, I could do hikings on Thursdays so that way my body can recover enough from the legs to be able to perform well during hikes. I have some hiking trails that I could go to, some that don't even incline that much. It's just a nice 3-mile hike. Or if I feel like challenging myself, I'll hike to a peak. But for the gym cardio sessions, I recommend doing jogging along with doing like 1-minute sprints between certain intervals. You want to ideally do it probably, I'd say every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, challenge yourself, sprint. This naturally boosts testosterone. Your heart, your cardiovascular system will build endurance. So, whenever you're out playing sports with your buddies or whatever, you won't be so winded. Just a suggestion. For upper body days, I would like to do 2 exercises for back and 2 exercises for chest. The reason is because I like a big back. I like a big chest. And to hit those optimally, especially since they have different components, it'll help optimize the growth of those muscle groups. But for these exercises, I have to alternate between different ones. So like say, for example, if I'm going to work out chest, 1 week, I'm going to be doing incline press or an incline press and push-ups. But the next week, I can do a regular bench press along with flies. And then if I want to, I can alternate. I could do flies and incline press. I can do regular bench press and push-ups. There's also variations to push-ups that you could do to target different muscle groups. Muscle fibers of your chest. And then the same thing for back. However, while I do alternate on the secondary exercise, you could never go wrong with pull-ups. Pull-ups is your best friend, okay? So if 1 week I'll do pull-ups and rows. The next week I'll do pull-ups and lat pull-downs. You get the idea. And then so for that in and of itself, that's 4 exercises for the day. We want to do 8. So we got 2 exercises for back and chest. And then one exercise for triceps, one exercise for biceps, one exercise for forearms, one exercise for shoulders. This hits every muscle group in your upper body. Now, again, the exercises done will alternate to keep things mixed up, to keep your muscles guessing, to optimize growth, and to keep your muscles from plateauing. Now, with that being said, we're moving on to the lower body. For lower body, the first exercise will always isolate quads. Next, we'll isolate hamstrings. Next, we'll isolate calves. Then, we'll do 2 ab exercises. If I have the time, 4. But at most times, I end up doing 2. If I'm in a time crunch or if, something comes up. And then after those ab exercises, we'll do a squat exercise. Now, I don't personally care much about my legs, so I don't have the greatest lower body routine, but hey, it is what it is. But the reason why I have forearms, shoulders, and abs to work out on these miscellaneous days, Tuesday and Thursday, is because forearms, shoulders, and abs actually they're actually very fast at recovering. You could literally train them the next day and it wouldn't even matter. You would just have to work out different groups of the shoulders. So remember how I said on upper body day, you work out, you do like one shoulder exercise, for example, or one forearm exercise. On the miscellaneous days, you could work out the forearms in a different muscle fiber. So let me set this down. So for forearms, you could work out these on upper body day, but your brachial radialis you could work on a miscellaneous day. Or let's say an upper body day, I choose to work out my side delts. Well, on miscellaneous days, I could work on my rear delts or my front delts. That makes sense? Great. Now, let's see. This prevents muscle fatigue and just prevents your muscles from being worked too much. Trust me, guys, I have optimized this to be very muscle friendly, to be very recovery friendly. Let's see. I guess that's about it for my fitness plan. My fitness plan is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I don't plan to alternate this at all. I don't plan to change this at all because, this is solid, in my opinion. It might work differently for you, but I'm really trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get to a lower body fat percentage. So, of course, this routine is optimized for muscle growth while also burning body fat. And I will show you why. So, my muscles are quite developed, but there is fat that hangs on them too much, especially on the sides here, you can tell, and then a little bit here on the belly. My abs, they don't 100% show, but the muscle is there. You couldn't tell already. All right, I'm done flexing. Now, we are moving on to the nutrition. Now, I have a different BMR from you. You could have a different BMR. Or you could be 5'11" like me and somehow 173 pounds. Okay, cool. But do you have the same muscle mass as me? Do you have the same bone density? I thought not. So, everybody's different. I'm at a different point in my journey. I have bulked enough to a point where I can shed body fat and probably look pretty good. But the reason why I'm cutting is because I really want to see where I'm at. I just feel like my muscles have developed to a point where they would probably have good insertions. I have faith in myself and I trust myself to shed this body fat and be able to reveal what I've always wanted to have, abs. I only have a 2-pack, so some abs would be pretty awesome. So this is where nutrition comes in. Nutrition, the goal for nutrition is to optimize protein intake and lower calories. Protein high, calories low. So let's see here. Now we're gonna have the first meal at 12 p.m. noon. The reason why is because we want to do a 16-8 intermediate fasting. Doing this fasting will allow the body to sort of freak out almost. It won't resort to carbs. No, it resorts to fat. So when I go for that morning walk, whenever I'm doing chores, whenever I'm working, whenever I'm just doing active stuff while fasted, I'll have water, sure, but doing these things will allow my body to resort to fat storages and completely shred it. It has no choice but to. I mean, come on. So for the first meal, I'm getting back to the first meal. First meal will alternate between an egg meal and a protein yogurt meal. This is for me, but this could be for you too, if ever you want to indulge in this. For the egg meal, I like to throw in turkey breasts. I like to throw in, I think just turkey breasts and eggs, and I like to top it off with tapatio, your choice of hot sauce. It's really great. Not a ton of calories. I do plan to add spinach to the meal, but I've got to test the waters because I've had to literally calculate a bunch of like calories down here to see if this nutrition plan is optimized to my routine. So for the yogurt meal, I like to put a serving of Greek yogurt, which is 2/3 of a cup. I like to put a tablespoon of honey, and I like to put a scoop of whey protein. So both of these meals add up to 42 grams of protein. I like it to be high protein because it keeps me fuller throughout the day. It is also important for your muscles as well. Your insulin levels are really high. So you want to break your fast with something that is very nutritious, that'll work very well with your muscles. All right. Now, for the second meal, aka the pre-workout meal, always a protein shake. Never anything else. I always like to put bananas, peanut butter. I'll put 1 banana. I'll put 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. And then I'll put 2 scoops of whey protein. And I'll put a cup of milk. So with that being said, let's see here. With all that being said, all of that totals out. With the egg meal, it would be 915 calories. But 90 grams of protein. With the yogurt meal, it'll total out to 845 calories with 90 grams of protein. So my goal was to hit less than 1,000 calories before my dinner. So that way, it wouldn't matter what the fuck I ate. What would only matter was, of course, the nutrient contents of what I ate. So, that being said, I also want to mention that you really just want to have a good ratio of protein to calories. Otherwise, especially if I'm going through this cut, I will lose muscle. And this will help stop me from losing so much muscle. Feel me? So I always try to aim for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is optimal, and this is just what helps. Okay, so with that being said, the third meal, this meal I'll have after my workout. I'll start cooking it around 6 p.m., but I will eat no later than 8 p.m. So that way, when I'm going to bed, I don't feel like I need to stuff myself with food. We get those late night cravings, but we fight those cravings. We just head straight to bed. Okay? Now, for the third meal, I have a few meal ideas, and I'll be making videos on every single one of these meals. Just so that way you can understand kind of what I eat, and you can understand what's gotten me to this point in my fitness journey. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, yes, I don't have a ton of fruits included in my diet. I don't have a ton of vegetables included in my diet. But the results speak for themselves. I mean, do I have to explain myself anymore? If I can eat like this, you can too, and you can see probably the same results that I can. Now, if you have any vitamin deficiency, if you have any deficiency of that matter, any nutritional deficiency, I recommend please to fulfill that deficiency, or however you say it, just counteract it if you must. But for me, I don't have any mineral deficiencies. I don't have any vitamin deficiencies. So this nutritional plan has just worked for me, okay? But it could work for you too, okay? As long as you don't have any issues like I do. So for the third meal, it could be chicken quesadillas. I like to make spicy chicken quesadillas. It's so good. It is just so good. Trust me, if you ever have it, if you ever make some yourself, you're gonna love it. Ramen bowl. Now, this one is higher in calories. This one's the highest in calories compared to most of my meals. So I will mostly have this meal the same day I have a yogurt meal, because again, we have to watch our calories. A stir fry. Stir fry typically is lower in calories, but lower in protein too. But it really depends on the protein source that I use for the stir fry. Protein tacos. Protein tacos, I managed to actually make these under 1,000 calories, and they taste amazing. They have so much protein, so much fats, just all the good stuff, And then steak and eggs. I love this dinner. It is packed with healthy fats and protein. But ideally, I would like to have either boiled or sunny side up eggs. I always have avocado with this meal. It is a non-negotiable. I always love having avocados with this meal. It's so good. Protein burgers. Now, this is another one that's higher in calories, lower in protein, but it just kind of like spices things up. You know, especially since I make spicy burgers, you know, it defeats the craving of just going to In-N-Out and shit like that. You can find the right bun, you can find the right cheese to put on it, you can find the right vegetables. Me personally, I like to just put cheese and onions on my burger, nothing else. Just kind of how I prefer it. Call me bland, but... And I do want to try making my own sauce eventually. If I ever get around to it, I'll show you guys how I make my special burger sauce that I haven't even created yet. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Chicken Alfredo. This is another one that's also higher in calories, but also high in protein. Guaranteed. You know, I like to throw broccoli in chicken Alfredo. Sometimes I used to have it to where it would just be the chicken and pasta. That was during my bulking phase, and it was very good for that. I mean, shit. I got all this muscle, man. But that's besides the point. And then lastly, salmon dinner. I always love a good salmon dinner. It's super simple. I'll have 2 fillets of wild Alaskan salmon. Totals up to 66 grams of protein. Not a ton of calories. I could just, if I had too much calories for the day, I will just avoid the rice. But I like to have the rice with it. If anything, I'll probably have a smaller serving, since my dad prefers to have rice with the meal. But I'll always have mixed vegetables with the meal to make sure I get nutrients in. Duh. But I haven't yet done my research on, like, I need to study. Like, I've got to weigh the chicken breasts that I use. I've got to weigh all the meats that I use in these meals, so I can give you guys the exact macros for each of these meals. Because while I understand that a lot of them can range from 700 to 1500 calories, it would really just come down to the amount of food that you really end up eating. Now, I try to stay away from meals that are above 1200 calories, but with the ramen bowl especially, that ends up being the most, like most of the time, it just ends up being the most calories. I could optimize it by using different ramen noodles. True. You could do that too. It's just I prefer a certain ramen noodles that are high in calories. So shame on me, but shit. I like to spoil myself every once in a while when it comes to these meals. But at least they're high in protein. Alrighty. And I think that about concludes it for my pre-summer glow up protocol. You could replicate this if you want. I will. My handwriting is so bad. So I could probably write a document about this at some point, but honestly, yeah, you have this video to go back and look upon, so I'll just leave it at that. But I thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's just, I never had a solid plan before. I think that's the only reason why I'm not where I want to be. Nothing matters more to me than getting to a lower body fat percentage. Nothing does. I just want to give a little quick segment for this part of the video. I really thank you guys so much for watching the video and tuning into the whole thing, hopefully. I plan to pump out videos like these regularly because I realize that the only reason I just struggled with content creation was because I wasn't consistent. So we're starting now. I need to do this day after day. If I don't, it's not going to become routine for me. That's the only reason the gym became routine for me. That's the only reason why my nutrition plan became routine for me, because I did it every day. So I've got to do this every day. Even if it's not the best, I'll do my best. But nothing matters more to me right now than getting my ideal physique. Nothing matters more than it. And I will do whatever it takes. And this plan, it'll help me get there. And hopefully, while I'm documenting the whole journey there, that you guys are doing the same. And I hope that you guys get the results that you deserve. Because as long as you have put in the work, you'll reap the benefits of it. I know you will. I feel like so long people have doubted me because I've been making false promises to myself. Nobody can just look at that type of person and be like, yeah, I think that person's trustworthy to their word. That's a person that's a man of their word, man. I really am not trying to make this about other people and not trying to prove anything to other people. But part of me does. I am just going to do this for the sole purpose of fulfilling my own promises. I really want to help others achieve a greater physique. I want to help others achieve a greater lifestyle. In a way, I want to be a modern philosopher. I want to be many things, but it all starts with me. And no better time to start than now. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It has been quite some time since I posted, and I am so sorry. All I can do is start doing instead of just saying what I will do. This is just how it's going to be. Even if my videos end up being somewhat messy, somewhat unplanned, it is what it is, because consistency is what matters. That consistency compounds. I can learn from my mistakes. I can learn what to improve upon, what not to improve upon, what my strengths are, what my weakness is. It all helps to just start messy and then figure it out as I go. And hopefully you guys can realize the same thing. If you have a journey of your own that you are working on, get started on it right now. Even if you don't have all the tools to do it, you'll figure it out along the way. I know you will. So, thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.